Big news this week is that a former Facebook employee turned whistleblower testified in front of Congress to reveal what anybody with an ounce of common sense knew literally over a decade ago, that social media is bad for children to be using.
I believe Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken our democracy. The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people. Congressional action is needed. They won't solve this crisis without your help.
Wait, I know how we can solve this. Just like children aren't allowed to buy cigarettes, alcohol, or guns, maybe you should be 18 years old before you're allowed to have a social media account, or at least be able to post on social media. And even after you're 18, I would go so far as to say that you should maybe have to take an IQ test as well. But that genie has been let out of the bottle, and anybody with a functioning brain knows that children shouldn't be posting pictures, videos, or anything for that matter for the entire world to see. But putting that toothpaste back in the tube at this point, when that's basically the centerpiece of our culture, is virtually impossible. Probably the only thing that Republicans and Democrats can agree on these days is that social media is terrible for children. But that's just the candy coating on the supposed whistleblower's mission. Her real goal is to censor more free speech from us adults.
The reality is that we've seen from repeated documents within my disclosures is that Facebook's AI systems only catch a very tiny minority of offending content. And best case scenario, in the case of something like hate speech, at most they will ever get 10 to 20%.
10 to 20%. Think about it.
Of course, her definition of hate speech is accurately calling Black Lives Matter a violent extremist movement or a Marxist uprising, or mocking anybody who can't figure out what pronoun they want people to call them, or having anything negative to say whatsoever about a certain little country in the Middle East. Real Facebook whistleblowers like Ryan Hartwig, Cassandra Spencer, and Zach McElroy, who have revealed how the bias algorithms suppress conservative content and censor free speech, are all but ignored by the mainstream media and Congress. When I posted a video showing Kyle Rittenhouse helping an injured protester in Kenosha, showing that he didn't show up with any malicious intent and that he had actually helped put out a fire, a literal dumpster fire that the Black Lives Matter terrorists had started, Facebook took that video down and then gave me a strike on my page for violating their PRS policy, their praise, represent, or support policy of what they've deemed a dangerous individual. Of course, you didn't hear a peep about this from any conservative social media influencer, political pundit, or reporter because, well, I'm not Conservative Inc. approved. No Republican member of Congress denounced Facebook for censoring evidence showing Kyle Rittenhouse in a positive light, in a true light. This new whistleblower who's getting loving praise from the liberal media and Democrats in Congress can be summed up with this meme. Hello, my fellow whistleblowers. Facebook and Instagram aren't censoring enough memes. Instagram took down this Scooby-Doo meme last year of Jussie Smollett being exposed, saying that it was harassment. I was bullying a poor celebrity. Thank God Facebook fact-checked that Martin Luther King in a MAGA hat meme that I posted. And that's not a joke, by the way. They really did fact-check this. Facebook's algorithms are so strict to prevent people from posting thought crime that they once literally, and this is not a joke, they censored somebody posting the Declaration of Independence because it contains a negative word about Indians. Oh, I'm sorry, Native Americans. The Declaration of Independence was censored by Facebook and deemed hate speech. As you know, everything that hurts liberals' feelings, or that is funny, or even crime statistics about certain racial communities that make them look bad, is deemed hate speech by the big tech companies. For example, if you criticize Playboy putting a gay man who's dressed in a Playboy bunny costume on the cover of this month's magazine, that's hate speech. Criticizing child drag queens, or particularly their parents, with language harsher than, "I disagree with that," is hate speech. Are you starting to notice things about virtually every commercial on television these days? Better not say anything other than praise about it, or else that's hate speech.
Our kids aren't so great at hiding.
Gee, I wonder where the kids are.
But we found out their clothes hide a lot.
Turns out we can't even see 70% of the dirt that's trapped in their clothes.
Which concerned us, especially with their sensitive skin.
That's why we always look for new Tide Hygienic Clean Free.
Hey, what's that?
It's gotta be Tide Hygienic Clean Free.
The wrong facial expression can also be hate speech as well. That's nonverbal hate speech, or face crime. But the Marxists don't just want free speech banned from social media, they also want certain books banned as well.
Just last week, YouTube said they were removing any misinformation tied to COVID vaccines, including videos from Dr. Joseph Mercola. As I mentioned, he's been silenced on YouTube. His lies and false propaganda are still available on other sites, of course, including the largest bookseller in the world, Amazon. The question is why? Randy stayed on the story, set out to find out.
That's Dr. Joseph Mercola, spewing lies about the vaccines for COVID-19. And much of it is neatly packaged in this book he co-authored, The Truth About COVID-19, available on Amazon. For about $15, you get 226 pages full of false claims and outlandish conspiracy theories about the vaccines. First, the e-commerce giant declined our request for an on-camera interview. Then, after we sent them a list of questions we hoped they'd answer via email, Amazon rejected that too, then refused to even give us a statement, instead saying they hope to be more helpful on future stories. Amazon's behavior has caught the attention of Senator Elizabeth Warren, who in this letter to Amazon's CEO wrote she is concerned that Amazon is peddling misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines and treatments through its search and bestseller algorithms.
By the way, it's not just books about supposed medical misinformation that they want banned from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and probably soon confiscated from your bookshelf at home. For several years now, Amazon has been quietly banning books, but few will dare ring the alarm about it. You probably see me talking about it for several years now, but it's crickets almost everywhere else. They banned a book called No Dress for Timmy, a children's book promoting transgenderism to, well, children. They've also banned other books about other topics that they obviously don't want people to talk about. And in case you didn't hear, the city of Hollywood actually got Amazon to ban my latest book, Hollywood Propaganda: How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture, because I used a font that is similar to the Hollywood sign, which they claim violates their trademark, which it doesn't because it's fair use, because it's commentary about the city of Hollywood. I talked to multiple attorneys about it. They all said it was totally fine. But Amazon pulled that book and forced me to change the cover or they wouldn't relist it. So order it in paperback before they ban it again once and for all, or get any of my books like The True Story of Fake News, How Mainstream Media Manipulates Millions, or The Liberal Media Industrial Complex, all linked up in the description below. So click it and head on over there and check them out.